So it's easy to have a belief that I know you don't have. It's easy to have a belief that you're kind of born bold or not. Well, that's just not who I am. I'm not bold. But you've already said you didn't start off that way, and you learned how to be more bold, and now that is who you are. So for someone that is more hesitant and not as bold, what are some things we can do as leaders, as individuals? What are some things we can do to increase our level of boldness?
Yeah, and I think it starts with understanding that we all have situational boldness and situational confidence and situational underconfidence and situations where we hesitate. The problem is we hesitate when it matters the most to us because we're afraid that it won't go the way we want it to. Whereas by not taking any action, it's going the way we don't want it to because we're not acting. So you're defining yourself. I take it as something as simple as when you say, I'm a shy person. I say, really? Are you shy at Thanksgiving dinner? Are you shy at a Seder when you're there? Or are you shy with your best friend? Probably not. So change that, stop defining yourself, peel that label off your forehead, if that's where you happen to have it, in reverse type. So every time you look in the mirror, it reads, I'm shy, and say, I behave in a shy way in certain situations, because that's the truth. And what you want to do is expand that comfort where you're not shy, where you have situational boldness instead of situational hesitation. And like I said at the beginning, boldness builds like a muscle. If you say, look, I really think I want to be a public speaker, but I'm terrified of being on stage. So what you don't do is get in front of a room of 300 people and try to give an hour keynote as your first try, because you'll never speak again, because you will do so badly that it will be painful to even think about. So you go to Toastmaster and you have to do a 5-minute talk. That's it. And everybody sucks in the room. And they are there to get better. So they're there to critique you and support you at the same time. Now that's public speaking. Let's say, oh, I just want to be able to be more comfortable just speaking to people. So talk to a stranger every single day. Just wherever you are, talk to the person in front of you in line at Starbucks. Talk to somebody in an elevator. I talk to people every time I'm in an elevator. I talk to people. And you go, well, I don't know what to say. It's like, well, you don't have to, you think you have to be clever, witty, interesting. No, you just have to be nice and observant. Go with a compliment. That beard looks great on you. I can't grow a beard to save my life, but on you, that beard looks great. Okay? That's it. And with no expectation of any response whatsoever. If you lose the agenda and just say, I'm going to offer a compliment, I call it a drive-by compliment. And it's to somebody where the stakes are so low that if they say, get out of my face, it doesn't matter. They're a complete stranger. You could almost say, I'm going to talk to 3 strangers or more a day until somebody cold shoulders me. And I'm not going to take it personally. That's just building your boldness muscle. That's just saying, I can do one more rep in the gym. We go to the gym to be deliberately uncomfortable for 45 minutes to an hour. So all I'm saying is be deliberately uncomfortable, intentionally uncomfortable for a minute a day, for 30 seconds a day, and realize that you're feeling more comfortable. You're starting to come up with things that people are responding to. If you start doing drive-by compliments, you'll be amazed that you've been out there, you're sprinkling this fairy dust of positivity on people. Why not be that? Why not be a voice of upliftment in the world? Be generous with that. perfect example is I love coffee with a mad passion. So if I get a Starbucks and I'll grab it from the counter and then I'll go back and I'll say to the barista, "Excuse me." And now what are they expecting? A complaint. Okay. So their expectation is all as low as it could possibly be. And I say, "This is absolutely perfect. And I just had to let you know." It changes their entire day. You see it on their face. And how long did that take me to say? 8 seconds? And you start to do that and you say, "This is who I want to be. This is the real me coming out. All I want you to do is bring your fullest self to the world." Because you're depriving the world of you when you do this hesitation and inhibition and self-definition of, "Oh, I'm an introvert. I don't like crowds. I don't like people. People don't find me interesting." All this horseshit we tell ourselves so articulately over and over again.
So you've just inspired me. I'm absolutely going to do what you just said the next time I'm in a Starbucks. And because, I mean, it really is such an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And you just know exactly that they expect a complaint. So I love that. So I heard two things out of what you said in terms of activities people could do to be more bold. One is rip that label off, reframe. And you're not a shy person. You're shy in this situation. You're not indecisive. You're indecisive in these situations. So one is about reframing and not labeling yourself. The second is building muscles, taking the small steps, the drive-by compliments being an example. What else? What else could we do if we want to start building that boldness muscle?
It comes down to finding times when you're saying no to fun, which is a really bizarre thing that people do all the time. Like people say, "Come on, we're going to go sing karaoke." And you go and they say, "Come on up. You can sing backup." And you go, "No, no, no. I have a terrible voice." And you say, like, "Did you hear the last guy? He's having the time of his life because he loves this song there so much, and he's going and he's putting us through his off-key singing of it, but he's enjoying himself. Why are you saying no?" So find those little places where you think you need to excel when actually you just need to participate. People will love you if you get up and dance. My business partner is a wild dancer. It's hilarious to watch him, but it also looks like he's really enjoying himself as he does it. And so people can't judge him negatively because it's like he's enjoying himself. Well, I could say he's not a balletic dancer, or he's never going to back up J-Lo on stage. That doesn't matter. It's like, why are you forcing yourself to be a bump on a log? Or, why are you choosing to be the wallflower? Speaking of the wallflower, that's another little boldness exercise. Whenever I'm in a room and I see that person who used to be me, by the way, who is looking at the record collection or the books in the library, or examining the artwork while everybody else is talking to somebody, I go right over to them and I start talking to them. And what happens is they start to open up because I just probe. I want to know who they are, what matters to them. And that's one of the great things is just have your first question that opens people up. Like what's the most interesting place you've been to this year? Or how did you happen to know the host? Because she's a great woman, and I just met her, but I'm so curious how you met her. You just have your go-to, what's the most interesting thing that happened this week for you? What's the most surprising thing that you learned this week? The beauty of it is it's not a yes or no. It's not how are you? It's tell me about you. And then the other key to it is when they answer, listen to the answer and ask the next level question. Oh, you know what? The most interesting thing to me is like I actually finally decided to go buy a car, and they would charge me so much for the car that I actually left the dealership, and I was pretty proud of myself for not just letting the sales guy talk me into it. I said, "Oh yeah, so what kind of car do you want? Have you thought about buying the used version or doing a swap a lease on the car?" And just ask questions. This is people think they have to be interesting in situations. And all they have to be is curious. And if you're not curious about people, that's your problem. That's not their problem that they're not interesting. It's that you have built up this shyness wall that you say you're not curious about people. We are all social animals. We are not rugged individualists like everybody thinks Americans actually are, which we're not.